Well, Marty, we've talked so much about Danica Patrick's performance in the draft during this course of practice during this week, but equally important today is her performance on pit road. She has never driven a car in a race like she's going to drive here today, and for that reason, this experience is going to be completely different. During her test sessions, her and the team have practiced pit stops over and over. They know a great day in the draft can be ruined if they don't execute here in the pit box. And for more on that, let's check in with Tim Brewer. Tim?
Vince, you're exactly right. When Danica comes down pit road in an Indy car, she hasn't got any roll bars, hadn't got anything obscuring her vision. But this one of these situations today, she's really going to have to rely on the pit spotter and her crew to counter in, because she's got no room to move in, no side vision whatsoever. So getting in and out of the pit areas without tearing the fenders up is going to be very important. Now down to Hollywood, what's going on pit road?
Thanks, Tim. Danica Patrick has asked a lot of questions all week long on the racetrack, but today she'll be asking a lot of questions before a pit stop and after a pit stop. She has to trust the decisions being made up on the box and the crew going over the wall. Her first pit stop today will be the first in a Nationwide Series car. So, guys, it's going to be exciting, and it's just a part of the learning club for Danica Patrick here at Daytona.
All right, thanks, Hollywood. And we make it sound like it, you know, this should be a simple process. Let's go back to the duels. Ask A.J. Allmendinger.
Yeah, exactly. These pit boxes are really slick. They had a 24-hour race here just a couple weeks ago. And even though we had a lot of rain, there's still a lot of fluids left down from that. So she really needs to be careful in doing that. You know, you really can't win the race, and she's not here to definitely win, but you could certainly ruin your day if you don't take care of your car and get in and out of pits properly.
And like Hollywood said, it's up to the crew chief and that spotter to keep her out of trouble. Some of that stuff she can't see. She's going to have to rely on them. They have to do a good job of watching out for her, giving her good information to make sure they don't step on each other on the radio.
Proud of you this whole week, actually the last 2 weeks here. Done a nice job. All the guys did a nice job too, Tony. Nice to be a part of you guys here.
Right on. Thanks, guys. Let's finish strong.
Butterflies in her stomach have to be the size of a 747 right now. You're at Daytona for your first start. Earnhardt Jr. in 5th, and his team car, Danica Patrick, he has been mentoring her throughout the weekend, giving her as much advice as he possibly could. She has dropped back from her 15th starting position to 18th, and this was not surprising. The crew had said that Tony Eury was going to say, look, just take it easy. If you fall back, it's okay.
Yeah, and these starts and restarts are going to be probably the most exciting times that she's going to see, and the things that she hasn't had to really deal with. So getting used to that, and as she gets 1 or 2 under these belts, she'll understand a little bit more of it. Vince?
Well, the main objective for Danica Patrick is they want to keep her on the bottom of the racetrack. They feel like the trouble is going to be up top. And they said as long as she's comfortable running where she's at, they won't drop to the back. But if she starts feeling uncomfortable, you maybe see her slip back out of some of the heavier traffic. But the main objective, stay on the bottom of the racetrack. Just before they went green, by the way, Dale Jr. came on the radio to her and said, have fun and trust your instincts. So far, Danica said after 1 lap, albeit 1 lap, she said, hey, that was pretty good.
Like he got some help from Mike Bliss right here.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how much talent you have. You get the rear wheels lifted off the ground, and nobody can drive. And let's see Danica go right by there.
Like Stewart may have snuck through there as well.
Let's listen on the radio.
No, I don't know how I didn't, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know how I didn't, but I didn't.
Sometimes it's just a higher power, and you're glad that it's there.
Now here's Danica's view.
Brake check, little spin up here. Come on down, come on down, come on down,
man.
come on down.
Great job.
Clear up, cautions out. Cautions out here, cautions out.
Well, you can see Danica in 18th position. She'll be on the high side. He made it through, and whoa, look out. That looked like one of Michael Annett in the 15.
I heard Danica saying,
Just
was
two
the
by
race
two.
going to be more structured? I don't think so. Pretty chaotic right here.
22, Brad Keselowski.
He's a little piece behind.
So far, that transmission
Clear 11
linkage
by
seems to be
2,
doing
so
okay.
2
He
by-
pulls in front of Danica, and should wish Brad a happy birthday. He turned 26 just yesterday.
And you can see Danica trying to get back to the bottom of the racetrack there. That's where she's a little more comfortable what she's done. But actually got forced back and actually put in the middle right there for a minute.
Trying to get back down low. She looks like she's having a hard time keeping the car down.
She's got Tony Stewart now right on her back bumper. she can latch onto that 4 car, she'll go back to the front.
Yeah, and I'd have to say maybe her car and a lot of these other guys' cars are looser than what they anticipated from what we saw the last few days practice-wise. Again, there's not as much rubber down right now.
Coming down the backstretch, you can see that Danica Patrick has dropped back to 34th, and they said if the comfort level's not there, go ahead and do that. Get to that first pit stop and make changes on the car. We noticed that she was looking like she was hunting up the track. And we mentioned the fact that Danica was going to go where the comfort level was. Well, she has dropped back. And
stay with him. There you go. Stay with him. Try to help him.
She's 33rd right now. That's Tony Raines right in front of her.
What she's got to be careful of right here is not to lose the draft of this big pack in front of her. That's what you hear the crew chief there saying. Just stick with that car in front of you and try to catch that group.
And just to give you an update there, you can see Danica is now 13 seconds behind. She started 15th, running in 33rd. As she's still a long way from going a lap down, but she has lost contact with that pack. And there is the third group, and Danica Patrick all the way back there trying to get back into it. She's 34th now, Vince.
Well, as DJ and Andy suggested, the handling becomes more difficult the deeper you get into the fuel run, and Danica's handling on this car is going away some. Says she's got a significant push in the dog leg, and the car's loose coming out of turn 4, and she's having trouble keeping it from slipping up the track. So obviously they want to keep it down on the yellow line, being more difficult to do. Her spotter Chip Ross encouraging her, stay in the draft with the cars in front of you, but she's got a car that's not to her comfort level right now.
And we saw that, guys, a couple of those laps where she was starting to drift up the mountain, going up the hill. Now Danica is 34th right now. Let's listen in on the radio.
I'm trying. He got such a big loss of speed out of 4 that I could pass him, and then, you know, it's just one or the other.
Yeah, when that happens, neither one of you got enough help to where you can do anything. So when that happens, you just got to roll up at the throttle, touch his bumper, and push him. Because you're trying to catch that pack in front of you. Y'all trying to work as a team together to get back up there.
Okay.
And if the first time she does that, I guarantee you she's never done that in an Indy car.
Well, she's finding a lot of things here today.
No, they don't. And we're showing those viewers who may have just tuned in where Danica Patrick is. A lot of people are watching for the first time that may not have watched before. She's on the verge, though, of potentially going a lap down. She really needs a caution to stay on the lead lap, or she probably will lose it come pit stops.
You see Danica Patrick now making her first green flag pit stop.
10 away. Right there, 4,000.
She looks like she's running awful fast road speed. I don't know. We'll see.
And you're 15. And you're 10. 10 away, right around this black car right here. 5, 4, 3, right here. Nice easy. Come on. Looking good. You're going to stop right there, baby. Good. Straight wheel straight, right?
4 tires and 2 rounds down on the track bar for Danica Patrick. They will give her 4 tires at each and every stop because Tony Eury Jr. thinks it's most important that she has the consistent car, so they won't gamble on their pit stops.
Go, go, go. Easy on that motor. Easy. You're good. Just go get all you get. Left after the deal. Left's on the yellow. Left's on the yellow. Left's on the yellow around turn 1.
She's used to hammering the throttle because they got rev limiters over an Indy car.
Yeah, you got to be careful when you drop that jack and you rev that thing up. You can, a couple things. You can break some of the drivetrain parts, and you can also over rev the motor. Even though they do have rev limiters also, you still have to be careful with it.
Yeah, but these things are so hard. They have such a high gear in them, and they're hard to get going out of that spot.
And you mentioned it, Danica Patrick gets the Aaron's lucky dog. So the race gods are smiling on her early as she'll get back on the lead lap here at Daytona as we are working lap number 52 of 120.
Yeah, that's a big break for her, but they really need to go to work now and try to get her further up in this line, and she needs to probably be a little more aggressive.
At the end of the run, I felt like the balance came back to me. It was like it started off okay, and then it went to oversteer for a while, and then it went and balanced out at the end. So I could keep my foot in the throttle more than everyone else, it looked like, because, I mean, I thought I kept a pretty decent gap once I got by.
Yeah, you did good. You just gotta really work on trying to get in there. I know if the car ain't right, you can't do it, but you just gotta really try to hustle that thing to where you can keep that gap. You got a car length in between that car. When you go into the corner, you want to keep it. That's what your main goal is, and that way both cars run faster.
Yeah, it's almost like I get up behind him and I get like the arrow push and then it catches the oversteer or something. Because it's really just on the edge when I'm right behind people. If I just, you know, drop back a car length or two and go a little bit lower than them, I mean, it just feels 10 times better.
Yeah, but she, like I said, you can hear Tony Jr. telling her she needs to be a little more aggressive to try to stay up with the cars in front of her and try to stay with faster cars. This car's going to drive like she's talking about no matter where she's running, who she's running with. But if she's running up a little farther up, she will, you know, at least not lose the draft.
And this is the feeling she's got to get comfortable with, and she's not right now.
Yeah, she has to, and she's talking about when she gets down underneath those cars that it feels better there, but you have to stay in that slipstream to really utilize the draft.
And Danica Patrick has moved into the 27th position. She got the Aaron's lucky dog. And let's take it back during the commercial break. We told you about how pit stops could be crucial. Let's show you what happened.
Whoa. All right, you can go ahead and be easy on the motor. Switch.
Had that been green flag, that would have been a disaster.
Yeah, that would have cost her dearly there. And you got to be careful with the clutch and all the running gear right there. Like Dale said, these cars are geared real high, and it's difficult to get out of that pit stall.
Yeah, and that's a natural thing that's going to happen after they tell you not to over-rev the motor. You're going to stall it out. That's not, you know, that's partly being a rookie, but you see other guys. Carl Edwards did it a while ago, too.
Looking further back in the pack, Danica still trying to find that comfort level. She's still leaving about a car length and a half before she gets up underneath somebody.
Yeah, and that's just something that takes time and experience to get used to what you can do with this and what you have to do if you're going to continue to hold on to that draft.
Well, what's going to happen? You see a big pack right now. That's going to separate. You're going to have probably 2 or 3 packs in about 10 or 12 laps. She needs to make sure she's at the head of these things so she can stay with the faster cars. She needs to try to be more aggressive in this situation.
Looking in again on Danica, and not close enough to do any bump drafting yet, and that's going to have to be the next stop on her learning curve, is to get up tight enough that she can push somebody.
It looks like they've got her car handling a little bit better, though. She's a little more aggressive this run.
Yeah, she's doing what she needs to do right now. She's still right there in that big group of cars.
Multiple car crash, including Danica Patrick, among many others, here on the front straightaway. Brian Scott, the 21 of John West Townley. Colin Brown, the 31, is also in this mix of Stanton Barrett. That's what's left of the right front corner of Danica's car.
Yeah, this all developed in front of her. This crash did. She did a good job of avoiding most of it, but then just couldn't avoid all the cars in it.
Also in it is the 61 of Josh Wise, the 48 of Johnny Sauter. This is going to be a long one.
Wheels to the left. Wheels to the left.
Okay. Lower portion of your screen.
You can see just a little bit of misjudgment there.
Yeah, that was a lap
61
car.
got turned.
Josh Wise was a lap car,
And she had nowhere to go.
Yeah, she just, I mean, gets by that car right there, but there's just nothing. I know it looks like room, but you're traveling at a high rate of speed, and she almost made it.
Take a look from another angle. A little lower this time.
See, all of this develop right there, and as these cars start sliding, more cars get involved. You just hope that a hole opens up for you.
10 of Leffler, boy, they had high hopes for this season. It's not going to start off the way they had wanted.
You had 2 of Roush's cars involved in that. Stenhouse and Colin Brown both involved.
There you go.
Okay, let's go on board and listen.
Doing a nice job. Still clear by 3 from behind. Being in front of you. Back it down. He's up here against the wall. Up here against the wall. He's against the wall, against the wall, against the wall.
I thought she did a good job, but just nowhere to go. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
all that you can do is just hope. And you know, there's very little visibility that you have there. Again, even though you're slowing down, see right here, just didn't have quite enough room. She could see the cars on the left and knew she couldn't go there, so she just had to try to hold it and hope that hole cleared out.
Well, Roush Fenway loses 2 cars in this deal, both Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and the 16 of Colin Brown. All right, let's listen live right now.
Man, that was a mess. I think something's just, I couldn't turn it up the hill. I have to turn
Yeah, we can guarantee you that. It is definitely got some damage to it.
Yeah, you know, Andy and I were just talking and watching her, how much better she was doing this time of keeping up with the draft and the pack and a little bit more aggressive. I'm sure part of that was her getting more used to it and then working on the car, but she really was doing a good job.
She actually had picked up 6 spots from 27th to 21st, and that was by passing on the racetrack. So it wasn't stuff that she had inherited, but you can see the damage now as the big one has happened here in our season opener.
We are just past halfway today at Daytona International Speedway, and a multi-car accident off turn 4 has claimed, among others, Danica Patrick's machine. That car being pushed back toward the garage while the field is brought down pit road. The pit road is closed, but the leaders being brought down pit road to avoid running through all the debris that this multi-car accident off turn number 4 has scattered all across the racetrack. Let's get caught up on what's happened so far with the 5-hour Energy Rapid Recap. Danica Patrick's NASCAR debut from the 15th starting position, and had some ups and downs on the day. First of all, barely missed a wreck at lap 7.
Oh, yeah, but look at this. He did a great job getting through the traffic. Checks up a little bit there, pulls that baby down the bottom side, misses everybody. Good run early for her.
We talked before the start of the race about pit stops and what they would be like. Danica down pit road on her second stop, getting some instructions from the crew.
All right, you go ahead, be easy on the motor.
Looks like she stalled out there, and that is a difficult situation she's in. She's been worried about this all week long, and it did happen to her. She stalled the car out, couldn't get it rolling, and cost herself a few spots on pit road.
And then the big wreck, and trouble found Patrick off turn number 4. The wreck starting up in front of her, and just no place to go.
No, and she was doing a good job, had the car better coming up through the field. Unfortunately, when you go to the back, you have a tendency to maybe get caught up in things like this. As you can see there, she just clips the car, turns across, no fault of her own, out into the outside wall.
10 cars involved in that wreck that began, it looked like, when the 61 of Josh Wise was clipped by the 16 of Colin Brown, and all those cars swept into the mess. As far as the lead is concerned, up front it is Tony Stewart, who is still running behind the pace car, waiting on pit stops while pit road is still closed. Radio from the 7 car just after the wreck.
But, you know, there's nothing you can do. The last time they crashed in front of me, I just held it straight, and they spun below me. This time I kept it straight, hoping they'd spin out of the way, and they didn't.
The tough thing about this, she didn't do anything wrong whatsoever. The problem is you have no vision. I mean, it's like a Days of Thunder movie. It's all smoke. You're just going through it. You're hoping you clear, and all of a sudden, bam, there's a car parked in front of you. I mean, she learned a lot today, no doubt about that. Cars tore up pretty bad. She'll come back and learn from this experience. But I really can't put a fault on her at all right now, Ray.
No, I can't either, Rusty. Now, as you said, you're going 190 miles an hour. You're trying to slow down, get run over from the back. Car's moving, can't see where you're going. Did what she could.
Well, we knew this was a possibility in this race today for her. So the worst scenario has played itself out. She got some good laps in. She learned a little bit today. Now she'll move forward, and we look forward to seeing her racing again when it's not a restrictor plate race to see what she can really do.
That'll be next Saturday at California with the second race of the season. So caution is out for a 10-car wreck off turn number 4, just past halfway in today's race, and Danica Patrick's NASCAR debut is done. Still under caution here at Daytona International Speedway. Pit road still closed while Danica Patrick talks with Tony Erie Jr. about her Daytona experience and the experience that ended it in the big 10-car pileup off of turn number 4 just a minute ago.
Yeah, just found herself in the wrong place at the wrong time, even though she was doing a better job getting her car up to speed and trying to race with some of these guys, and just had nowhere to go.
And you see Josh Weiss come off of turn 4, gets tapped behind from Colin Brown. All heck breaks loose. Everybody's involved in it. Both the Roush's cars are tore up, and Danica, no place to go. Got the right front fender took off, the suspension. She learned a lot, though.
Wow, cars through the grass, cars on the track, cars on the pit road, everywhere. This is your very typical trouble in turn 4 at Daytona.
It is, and there ain't no way, as they say, to experience it without experiencing it. So, you know, she got a world of experience there today. It's a shame, as I said, she was doing a good job bringing that car back up through the field after adjustments having a pit stop.
Now check out this. 5 of the 6 drivers making their first Daytona start have been involved in accidents. And what was it you said to me during the commercial?
I said if I was the 6th guy, I'd be looking for a safe place.
While all this is going on, Vince is caught up with Danica Patrick.
Certainly didn't end the way Danica had hoped. What did you see or not see on that incident?
I think it was not see. You know, in the very first accident that happened in 1 and 2, cars came together, smoke, and I just kind of like let off the throttle and slowed down, and they slid down the track. And then this one, you know, there's smoke and I can't see anything again, and you know, I try and just slow down and roll it through the corner, and then, you know, and that time it, you know, we all hit. So that's the tough thing about this racing. I can see what they've all said all along with these big tracks is, you know, smoke comes up and you're running so close out there that, you know, there's nowhere to go. But the disappointing part more than anything is just that, you know, I missed out on getting, you know, 40 or whatever laps left of experience that I could have got, and the car was finally, you know, where I liked it, and I felt confident as a driver to be able to run in a pack, so I was finally kind of getting the hang of it.
Albeit a shorter experience than what you wanted, what do you take from today?
Well, I can tell you that I'll be a lot more confident and prepared for next year. This is some really difficult racing. It really is. You know, the cars are definitely on the edge here. And as you can see, you know, someone gets a little bit out of shape and everybody's on top of each other. And then, you know, since the car don't slow down, it doesn't slow down very well, and you're already on the edge of grip, that everything happens. So, you know, I'm glad that I got that second stint in to be able to get more confidence out there. But it's never fun when, you know, crash up a perfectly good car that wasn't your fault.
Danica Patrick done for today, but back on track next week at Fontana. Marty?
Welcome to restrictor plate racing. Oh, man. As she makes her way over to the media center, look at the crowd. Even as she's out of the race, it never ends.